Hello and welcome to the tutorial on Power BI. In this session of the tutorial, let's see how do we create calculated columns and calculated measures. Let's start. As you can see from the below visual, we are comparing general health against age with the count of patients. As you can see from this visual, there are two patients who are in the age of 9 with excellent health condition. Similarly, there are two patients who are in good health condition and are of age 8. But now I don't want to see my data with age. Instead, I would want to see my data against age bucket. As I click on this ellipsis, I get to see different options like creating new measure, creating new column, and options for refreshing data. Similarly, to edit queries, to rename the dataset, to delete the dataset, to hide the dataset, to view the already hidden information, etc. For creating a new column, let's click on new column. As soon as I click on the create new column, I get an option to create new column where I can create each bucket. I can use the if condition. The logical test refers to the condition which has to be checked for this if condition. In this case, it is age. If age is less than or equal to 10, result if true refers to the result which is to be considered if the condition renders to be true. I just want it to be displayed as 0 to 10. Result if false. In this case, this is the result set which will be considered if the condition renders to be a false value. As I click enter, a new column called age bucket is created. Let's drag that age bucket on top of age. Now my data has got itself grouped for age bucket. Clicking on this expand all down one level in the hierarchy, I can see the data split for 0 to 10 and above 10 with the column totals enabled. For creating a new measure, let's consider the first visual. In this visual, as you can see, we are comparing general health against the number of patients. This patient ID, as we can see, gives us several options like to have the sum, to have the average values, minimum values, maximum values, and testing count values, standard deviation, variance, and median apart from count. This also gives us a facility to see the data as percentage of grand total. But now, just for display purposes, I'm creating one more column which is going to have the same count of patient ID. For that, click on the ellipsis. You have an option to create a new measure. Click on new measure. As soon as you click on new measure, option for creating new measure enables. I'm just typing count of patients. I can use the function count, and for this I'm using the column patient ID. As I click enter, a new column count of patient appears. I'm just dragging that patient along with this patient ID. As you can see, this is the count of patients column and this is the patient ID column counted from Power BI instead of creating a new measure. The thing to note here is creating a measure is beneficial in a very particular way. The way is a measure once created can group itself automatically for all the dimensions in the data set. In the sense the same measure can work from the lowest of granularity to the highest of granularity. Apart from the ways that were shown to create new column, there are also other ways to create a column and a measure. To create a column, you can also click edit queries. As soon as you click edit queries, you get navigated to the Power Query window where you will have options to create columns from examples, similarly to create custom columns, to invoke custom functions, to create conditional columns, to create index columns, and to duplicate existing columns. Now that I don't want to create a new column, I'm just closing this. Similarly, to create a measure, there is also another option to create a new measure. That option is called as uh, create new quick measure. The new quick measure will also give you option to create a new measure, except that it gives you additional facilities to group the data for categories. Let's see that function in a different session. That's all in this video. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe for more videos.